Alright, what's going on, boys? Nogats here. Welcome back to the video. If you haven't seen the trailer video, I just uploaded a trailer video. This is going to be going the deep dive into FIFA 22 gameplay deep dive notes. I've not yet looked at it. It just came out, so I'll be looking through it together, and I'll give you my honest opinion on certain things. Obviously, Thomas Khalifa, and sorry for the noise in the background. It's too hot in my room. I can't close the window. So anyway, Thomas Khalifa, the gameplay producer, and I think Dr. Popolov, I think Zara, and if someone else, I think Bogdan and a few other people did come together and put this out for us, so my thanks to them. So anyway, you see the NG sign? It doesn't mean nil guides. No, I'm not that famous yet, and I'm not worth anything either. It does mean next generation, and it's referring to PS5, Xbox Series X, and Stadia. Okay. So we started the development process by setting key pillars that we want to present for FIFA 22's gameplay. Here are some of them: refreshing as many gameplay areas as possible based on feedback in order to create a more authentic and polished FIFA experience for all players. Fairness, improve situations that could have felt frustrating from a gameplay perspective. Our aim is to reward players for performing the right action at the right time. For example, this includes being able to defend the bridge or dribbling with the clever positioning. I think that's actually very important. Increase gameplay variety to enable a greater number of variable playstyles. Interesting. So let's just go through. So these are all the subsections. You know what? I might not go through every single one. I think this is a bit too much, but let's just go. Anyway, HyperMotion is the foundation for FIFA 22 gameplay. That's what we do know. By two new recent technologies, full mocap data and machine learning. This allows us to increase authenticity and create new features for FIFA. My mouth is going to be worn. I think there's no way I can read through all this, but let's just see. Okay, new animations. Okay, kinetic battles, humanization, whatever. I don't think this is really important, to be honest. It's not really going to help us. This is without M-Flow. That's how it was last year, so you can agree with M-Flow. It says micro stutters in this animation over there. That's the differences. Not an amazing, but maybe a better first touch. Anyway, I'm just going to skip all this. I'm just going to forward to the main bit. We rewrote the intelligence and tactical approach of FIFA 22 players in the pitch, emphasizing their roles, personality, and teamwork. Players better understand their teammates and how to work together, and also better understand opponents' tactics and movement. Last year we improved several aspects of attacking players with positioning personality, which was only found really on the top tier players. It wasn't found really, I would say, on the average players. This is a new tactical AI. Attacking players make up to 6 more decisions per second, showing their okay, I don't know what you know what, we have to see this in play. It's all fun in games, you know, with pitch notes in general. It's all fun in games, someone saying something, but realistically you have to really see how it works in game, in my opinion. New defensive, so this is an interesting one. With tactical AI, players are more personality in 22 than 21. Defensive work rates and fatigue have significant impact on defensive positions of players. This is where the fullback and meta and centre back will be adjusted, because there is very few players that you can actually play fullbacks and centre back extremely well, and that counts to be 2 players, and that is 2 players that should be in FIFA 22, and that is Semedo, and that is so fullbacks are very much OP, but Semedo and Wan-Bissaka are extremely good at playing the centre back role, and the positioning is second to none, because they've got the high defensive work rate. So with defensive work rates now, it could make only the higher tier players actually feasible. Placing any player that is not a centre back in a centre back position will negatively impact their defensive positioning. So this is a very interesting one. I wish I kept my mouth shut about fullbacks and centre back. I should have just kept my mouth shut, let half the community just be goats and sheeps and just continue using centre backs, because now I've completely shot myself in the foot here, because I've been playing fullback centre back since FIFA 20, and let's be honest, it's always been the meta, and I think obviously the fact that maybe I pushed it out too much, I think once a few players are moving it and once the pros are using it, I think that's when it was GG for the entire community. Our goal for the tactical AI is to ensure players have a balanced experience and AI teammates. We'll keep monitoring FIFA 22, make sure there's good ways to counter. People don't understand this, but a lot of players don't understand this, but having fullbacks and centre back is the most important thing in the game, because if you can't afford Maldini, you put a fullback and centre back who's got pace to recover. Now we're stuck with all these top tier cards that we can never afford, and we can't have someone who's a decent player as a right back and centre back. So good job for all those people on the fullback and centre back haters. You've absolutely ruined the game now for people that want to play it casually. I don't care personally, but I'm saying people who want to play with someone's got 80 sprint speed at centre back, they're just going to get wrecked. So pace is going to mean more of a thing now. But it's just the positioning. I mean, it doesn't really show that much. He's not even fullback. These are just centre backs. But these are the new controller settings. As we mentioned at the start of the deep dive, one of the big pillars of FIFA 22 is aiming on gameplay fairness, eliminating potentially frustrating gameplay situations. I'm just going to skip this, continue on feedback from pro players, members of the community and whatever. I will offer my feedback if they do ask me, and I will definitely make sure they get my feedback anyway. Thank God they removed contextual agile dribbling from competitive game modes. Competitive game modes are basically foot champs, stuff like that. Thank God that's off. Thank God that's off. Thank God that's off. That all this should be off. I agree with everything, and maybe I would even say shooting on semi. People would disagree with me on that. I would say yes. Okay, fine. Foot rivals, champs, co-op seasons, pro clubs, online seasons. So I think this is brilliant. So if you play kickoffs, kind of like the legacy defending back in the day, you won't get done if you're playing kickoff. But you can see these are new controller settings. The deep dive, there's more analysis on matches. Match fact screen. I mean, is this only for offline? I mean, look, I'll be completely honest with you. These stats mean nothing. In real life, it means something. In a game of FIFA, it means absolutely nothing. A lot of lower tier players keep, shouting at me saying, I've had 10 shots on goal. My opponent's had 1. He scored 1 goal. I scored 0. Again, the truth is, I only have 2 shots on goal, but I'm only going to get scored 2 goals. I only shoot when it's a guaranteed shot on goal. So most of the time, stats are not that important, but you can look at, for example, just a general gist of the game. But that's going to be interesting to see how that works out as well. But again, I don't really care about this. You want me to be dead honest with you. Maybe the heat map is actually a pretty decent idea if you want to see work rates of a player. I think that would be a really good idea. But apart from the heat map of the individual player, I generally think stats are pretty much a waste of time. That's kind of my give on take on that. I'm sure people will tell you different opinions on that, but you can see, well, to be honest, you can see the individual stats, for example, overall possession. I'm wondering if you can see this on an individual basis. That would be very interesting. If you can see how many passes, pass accuracy of a player, whereas long pass or short pass. I know you can see the general one, but I wish you can see, all that. But yeah, it's increasing it. AI blocks, seeing that, so it's not a bad idea, to be honest. Maybe this section should be a bit more important. I would say the player performance, to see saves, etc., etc. Heat map was there already. Yeah, but if you can see, for example, heat map was there, but if you can see, for example, where they made the passes and everything like that, like if you can highlight passes and shots and it will show up in the heat map where it is, or for example, where it says dribbles completed, that could be at the point of where they get the ball. So you could see, okay, if for example the dribbles dribbles successful, dribbles completed, if they mark it as red dots, you'll know, for example, roughly where their positioning was, and you can determine how important work rates are. So it can be used in a different way, but let's see how that works. Kinetic airballs or kinetic airball captured together. You want me to be completely honest? It looks like it's even worse than what it is currently, but I don't know how this is going to be. It could be amazing, it could be terrible. I have to wait for the gameplay again. I'm not gonna. This is the one that I regret it. Oh my god. Okay, this is without explosive sprint. This reminds me of FIFA 16. Remember, I don't know if you remember, you used to hold the L1 button on FIFA 16. And you could kind of run with explosive sprint. I hope they brought that back into the game, because that was a really good way of dribbling past people. So if you can use this with your left stick dribbling to dribble. So this might be a really good idea for use with left stick dribbling. but it could also be a terrible idea. But let's have a look. Rewards timing and turns on the ball, giving players noticeable acceleration when sprinting in the correct context. Mechanics change 1v1. Explode forward, leave markers by and empowering. Okay, whatever. Timing is important. Only being fully effective when facing and moving forward. So not when you're moving diagonally. Provided the player is not moving fully forward or facing fully forward, they'll only get a partial effect. So to be honest, if you defend the angle towards goal, it will be less effective. That's actually a really good thing they've implemented. So it's only if you're moving forwards. It's only if there's actually space in front of you. So maybe this might be I mean, at first I thought it was a terrible idea, but if I'm reading correctly, this could be actually a good idea, but there'll be some contexts where it will be wrong. Hopefully they'll fix that. When we say moving forward, or we refer to a straight line direction that the player in question is facing, meaning explosive sprints aren't fully effective while they're moving in a straight line. I wonder if you can use left analog stick and then reposition himself. Short when activated, then tapers off. You know what? Let's just wait. I'm not going to say anything negative or anything positive about it now. Let's just wait for the game to come out, in my opinion, before we can really make a justification. Player humanization. Help you give more life to players in the pitch, for example. Players talk shot. I don't care about that, to be honest. You know, is it as I said, very much so. As long as this doesn't impede. So if I press the L1 button, I want that player to stop. I don't want him to, stop wiping sweat off his face. So as long as he points his hand out and makes it run immediately, and he cancels that animation. I know they said they're overlaying and they have layers now. I'm assuming they're taking that into account. As long as the layers are correct. True physics. Go and see how that works out. Okay, here's the big thing. We're expanding tactic customization and instructions to enable more gameplay variety. For example, FIFA 2021, the main difference is breaking down attacking tactics in two sections: build up, play, and chance creation. Thank God. Back to FIFA 18. I hope they're doing it in terms of the final third and the first 2/3. Okay, build up play is all about how your team performs in possession. Possession of the ball in your half. For example, you can choose. Oh, it's only in your own half. For example, you can choose to build up your play slow. So that's it. I want slow build up in the first half. The build up play is composed of 4 tactics. Balance. This tactic is used for balance team and maintains its formation while building up the attack. Players. Second, this is used for the balanced team that maintains its formation while building up attack. Players will support and make runs when they think it's right time to do so. Slow build up. Players will support more in attacking build up rather than a direct approach with a lot of forward runs. This tactic emphasizes short passing. So I'd use that, for example. Long ball team will make runs for long balls play into space behind the opposing back line or up to the target man for a direct attack that skips midfield. Strikers are fast with good positioning attribute at best at this tactic. Okay, fast build. This pushes the players forward for fast build up. If you lose possession, you could find yourself open. Okay, realistically, I can tell you right now, balanced and these 3 would be used the most, I would say, unless you're using like a counter attack formation. But I think slow build up will be the most used. I think, just because you can blitz it in an opponent's second half. Chance creation is how your team will attack in their half and how they will create goals. Chance creation is broken down into 4 tactics. Balanced. This tactic is used for a balanced team that maintains its formation while building up the attack. The same as usual. Possession. Players will provide more support to the dribbler in the attacking zone rather than going on forward runs. Okay, no one's really going to use possession. Direct passing. Once a teammate enters the attacking zone while in possession, players will create chance by making runs for passes into space and behind the opponent's line. Strikers are fast and forward runs. This tactic pushes players forward deep. Position. Okay, realistically, direct passing and slow build-up play will be the meta. I'd probably say, because the way FIFA is designed, that would be the meta. Slow build-up play and direct passing. They got rid of drop back, it appears. So there's no more drop back. So maybe there is. We don't know. Oh no, hang on, that's offensive. Yeah, so maybe it's drop back still in the game. Compose control. I go to see how that works out. Do these animations cushion the ball, resulting in more precise touches on the ball type? Specific chain traps are presented with composed ball control can increase chance of being performed when the following conditions are met. The player is not sprinting, R2. There are no opponents nearby except for shielding animation. So maybe shielding will have more of an impact this year. These animations cushioning the ball and resulting in more precise, accurate touch than any other ball control animation. Specific chain traps are present. Okay, I see. The left stick has to remain still while performing the composed ball control to allow for the animation to complete. Okay, hang on. So that means it depends on where the ball is passed to then. Is 5-2-1-2 relevant? Yeah, it still is. That means it will depend on where the ball is being placed. That means if you want to do a through ball, composed ball control, you can't use the left analog stick to alter your first touch direction. The left analog stick has to remain still. Specific attributes dictate how constantly they can be performed. Air and ground composed ball dribbling, 70 ball control, and 60 agility. Yes, that's pretty low, to be fair. Consistency goes up to the cap being 92 for the aforementioned attributes. Okay, that's actually very interesting. So it's going to be interesting to see inside the box that you can still do left stick touches and it won't be affected. That's actually a really good idea. I was worried they would do like a composed control, like you're forced to use it, but if you can cancel it using the left analog stick by moving it, it could be a really good idea. The ball arrives to the player's feet. See, when he knees it down, is it just is it a waste of time? That's what I'm thinking. It's not better to move the left analog stick to the right hand side here. Smack it to the right hand side. And maybe after you just smack the ball to the right hand side here, realistically. Look at this, right? The player over here, the blue guy, is jogging. And he's almost, okay, I know he's moving the ball away downwards. And then he's going back. What's going on? SZ. And okay, I know, for example, he's going diagonally down and then going back up. So he loses velocity and pace there. But that guy's just jogging. Maybe in like situations like here, if you took a touch as opposed to volleying it, it would have been a better description. I think for the better players, it would be more effective, in my opinion. That's my opinion for the better players. 1 second. I remember I put something in the trailer. 1 second. Okay, controlling the ball. Okay, focus on improving the player's grasp of the ball. Polishing many animations to make it more reliably obtain control of the ball, be it on the air or on the ground. We work a lot of shooting fundamentals, big emphasis on player personality with strength and ball control. So they're going to buff shielding. It might be a good thing. Improve control for shielding air balls, allowing stronger players to reliably win more air deals. Okay, that's good. Contextual air ball shielding, allowing strong players to not shield the ball in contested situation where no other action is requested. This already existed in the game, by the way. That is why I don't press the shield button to actually shield the ball, because it already exists in the game. Players need 85 strength to contextually shield, or 8 or 75 strength if the opponent is 5 less strength. They're buffing defenders indirectly. Indirectly buffing defenders. Ronaldo could be cracked. Because you can just drop the ball to him from the air and nothing you can do about it. Again, moving the fullback, centre back, moving short centre backs. New animations have been added and a major cleanup and polishing of existing parts have been done, allowing for more consistency in animation selection. Ground passes. A revamp of the ground pass targeting system, allowing for better target selection and spatial awareness. I'm confused. Do you have it on Stadia? You can get next gen on Stadia. New missions have been added and a major cleanup to polish existing passes. Please tell me they got rid of that stupid pass assistance nonsense. Revamp the ground pass targeting system, allowing for better target. Make rules refreshed. Okay, semi-assisted ground passes. Let's see how that works out. Semi-assisted through passes were expanded from last year to have more assistance for close-up symbol. Ah, this is actually really good that they implemented here. This is actually a really, really good idea. You can request a different type of pass halfway through the pass request. You press X, you're loading up power. This will stop the current pass to perform the new request. That's good. Through and lob through pass quality is one of my vision attribute. Yeah, I see. This is gonna change the game. It's gonna change the way the game's being played. It's gonna make it so pay to win. Through and lob through pass. Forget lobs. Through passes. Through balls is mostly determined by the vision attribute and less by the short long ball passing attributes. So whereas I would once play the likes of Ben Yedder, striker, or in cam, that can no longer be done because vision is too low. I like Neymar into the 90 vision. Interesting. Ground lob pass, that's fine. The crossing. Okay, that's fine. Player's current speed when requesting a pass alters the difficulty of the pass. The higher the speed, the more negative impact the pass. Shooting. I'll be honest, I've got no issue with shooting. Shooting is, I wouldn't say perfect, but I think it's very good this year. I've not got an issue with shooting. There is still some improvements that need to be made, but that should be given. The defender being closer to the reduced conversion. Yes, thank God they've added this into the game. When you'll be defending the angle towards goal perfectly, and there'll be a lot of pressure on the ball, and somehow they'll still shoot. Yeah, there'll be no fullbacks in the centre back. That's good. We've changed the green shot time window, allowing you to hit green. So hopefully they've increased that. Training to focus on dribbling from okay, here it is. Super knock on, double flick, RS. Ooh. The knock on the ball distance is further if you flick. Let's just see what Twitter is saying. Let's see what everyone else is saying. I agree, you gotta make your mind up. This is actually really interesting. I'm still good. Yeah, I'm still gonna play fullback centre back though, because I truly understand the benefits of playing there. Okay, so super knock on. The knock on the ball distance is farther if you flick the left. If you flick and hold the right stick into that direction. The double flick RS forward. Dun 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 dun. This is gonna be such an important feature. Remember this feature, guys. Remember this feature. There'll be a time. Remember this feature. Remember me saying this feature now. This will be the meta. Because the issue I've always had is when the ball gets to the player's feet, there's never enough distance to beat this player. You can never smack the ball into the space. But this feature will allow people to not be as aggressive and not sit back either. Pace is going to be very, very important as well. But this would punish lower tier players big time. But this would be a big riding tackle allows you to dribble past some tackles your left stick depending on the time of your dribble. Okay, let's see. Hope that's good. Better dribbling height with closer touches and more gradual. Better dribbling controls high speeds with closer touches and more gradual deceleration when releasing the sprint when dribbling. If you can combine the explosive sprint with that, quicker turns and exits, that should be given. Manual dink dribble. Press R3 during a dribble to perform a dink touch, avoiding the defender's leg. Oh my god, inside the box this could be the bridge part too. Maybe they should have added this in the game. Press R3 to perform a dink touch while dribbling. I can imagine this being abused into the ground. I can very much so imagine that. Let me ask someone something. Moves balance it. The main goal is to balance skill moves, make effective with time. After listening to feedback from community and pros. Yes! Thank God, remove skill counts from Lacquette Elastico. Oh my god. Reduce animation, yes. Interesting. Try to drag. Maybe you should add that bit in. First time skill moves. One unfortunately went to this first time she received a lot of feedback on. This is actually very interesting. I mean, I know this is a very long video, but I'm just having to think. It's going to be interesting, really, to see how this really transpires into the game. I think someone's at my door. 1 second. Give me 1 second. Okay, so this is actually very interesting. First time skill moves. One important change we want to highlight: the first time skill moves, which is something we receive lots of feedback on. Previous skill moves can be executed first time situation as the ball is coming towards the player. In the past, only possible with fake shots. This is why the first time fake shot was so important, which was the meta this year, which a lot of people didn't understand this, but the first time fake shot was the biggest meta, and I think half the pros who didn't learn the first time fake shot or didn't do it completely missed out. I generally think it could be different between a pro player becoming a top tier pro player and like an average pro player. First time fake shot is probably the most important thing this year, because one of the few skill moves that you can do and choose the angle before your opponent even chooses it. So interesting. Thank God. There's a new skill moves for touch tan. Click RS back. New skill dribble bridge. And so far, people can follow along as they will. I'm just double checking. I have like a WhatsApp group. Me and some hardcore gameplay guys have a discussion. Just want to see if they've said anything regarding this. No one has seen it yet. Reliable saves, visual variety animations, and keep personality. Defense behavior, here it is. Improved tackle behavior as described. Improved tackle animation. Okay. Interesting. The distance. I was trying to balance the outcomes in defending. We also made changes to controls. Tap circle while side by side when defending. Okay. Tap circle to Ah, interesting. Tap circle. So what's my circle button in defense? I don't even know. Tackle buttons would be X. Tap. Tackle, press X. Close the moment of the shot pass all your players within the passing lane. Interesting as well. Jockey added personality to sprint jockey max speed based on the player's defense. Oh my god, the pay to win is going to be real. Pay to win is going to be very, very bad. I'm not happy about certain things, to be honest. I think this is one of them. I think it's a bit problematic, some of these features. I mean, they're very, very good, but the pay to win gap is going to be massive. This wasn't needed into the game, but I think since they nerfed assisted jockeying, maybe it's worth it. Yeah, I don't think it was needed, but I suppose the why did it. This is the biggest thing. One of the biggest feedback we received last year was how you felt when you were in the right place at the right time. You're always able to accept the part. You won't. Yes, thank God. Coming close to teammate container, I don't have a heart attack. This could potentially be. See someone can answer that question. He says urgency. How this? It's very ambiguous. He's pitch notes. The question is urgency. What does urgency even mean, though? This is what I'm a bit worried about, because urgency, we don't know what it means, and in all honesty, it could be probably the worst backfire if. I hope they haven't nerfed teammate contain even more. Nah, Michu won't happen. They've only mentioned fullbacks, like playing Neymar and striker, for example. In theory, that fullback centre back nerf wasn't meant to exist. I don't agree with the fullback and centre back nerf. They nerfed it 2 times. First of all, their positioning is going to be bad. Then it's going to depend on work rates. That's 2 already. And the third thing I read just very much recently is that fullbacks and centre back are going to have a reduction in stats, and it depends on defensive awareness. So the game's going to be even more paid to win. I don't know. Pressing R3 or defending, you can see the UI. Okay. You can flick the right direction. You got an example of how this will translate in game. It will still be effective, don't get me wrong, but it won't be as effective. I mean, I'll be honest, I've read good things so far. I'm not gonna lie, you know. I'll be honest. They've addressed a lot of things. I mean, we'll have to wait for it to translate, but I want to see how this works. A new option for right stick allows you to move to the... A new option for right stick switching, allowing you to move the next player switch indicator, essentially allowing you to pre-switch to a player before confirming. A new option for right stick allowing you to... A new option for right stick switching, allowing you to move the next... Fullbacks will still be there. A new option for player stick switch. I don't understand this one. A new option for right stick switching, allowing you to move the next switch icon. Essentially, and you allow. Okay, but is that taken into account the icon switching, or is it the old classic system? Essentially, allowing you to pre-switch. One okay, I see. Clearance ball check now for the left stick input as much as they do while still throwing the earliest contact with the ball. These clearances, okay, I think this is irrelevant, isn't it? Because they're not adding a competitive game mode, are they? Okay, I see. Part of the bus, kind of. Depth and width sliders now range from 1 to 100. Yes. Back to the FIFA 18 days, it is. Pretty much for scenes allow for deeper. Yes, good. Step up. Structures and about foot, higher than step out position and mark position players title. With the life instructions. Oh my god, even better. Bigger goal moments, don't care. Player movement. Requires players to run for longer to reach their new max speed. Good. Okay, I'll be honest. So far, probably some of the best pitch notes I've seen. Probably the best pitch notes I've ever read for any FIFA iteration. Probably looking forward to it the most. Let's not get it confused. That doesn't mean the game's not going to be broken. Give me the game for 1 week and I'll give you my opinion. But it's looking positive. It's not going backwards, I think, this year. I think we're moving forward. Okay, well, that is the information for that. It's a very long video. It is almost an hour long. But guys, thank you very much for watching. I'll upload this now on YouTube so you can kind of go back and watch it. The link will be in the description for this as well. It's going to be pretty toxic. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Take it easy, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out.